My vegan friend harshly imposes her lifestyle on everyone else without their consideration and recently blew up at a friendly dinner because cheesecake was plated in her presence. I was wondering if I was the jerk here. So, I love cooking and love to host. Bearing in mind, all of us, including me, are Muslim, and we all eat halal meat. One of my friends became vegan last year. When we go out for meals, we try to accommodate her by going to places that offer vegan food. That limits most of our choices, as most places that serve halal food don't cater very well to vegan food. We moved to a new place, and I decided to invite friends over for dinner. I called my vegan friend beforehand and asked her what she would like me to make and what brand she wanted me to use. I assured her I would cook everything separately for her so there would be no cross-contamination. Food was served, and she liked it. One of my friends brought homemade cheesecake for dessert that her mum made. I had already bought a vegan dessert for my vegan friend, so I assumed there would be no problem. Well, she had a meltdown and screamed at the person who brought the cheesecake. I asked her to calm down and not raise her voice in my house. She took offense and left, saying I didn't appreciate her. Mind you, for a whole year, we catered to her choice of food and places to eat out. Later on, we decided as a group that we couldn't let her selfish antics affect us. In a group chat, we discussed going out in 2 weeks to a new halal buffet opening in town, and we checked, it did have vegan options. Well, said friend immediately objected, so I told her, when we next go out, you can bring your own food and we can enjoy eating out. So, was I the jerk for suggesting to my friend that next time she can bring her own food? /relevant comments. Commenter. Okay, but since there was already a vegan dessert for her, why would she feel the need to cry about the cheesecake? Just like you provided a vegan meal for her that's most likely different from what your other guests had, her dessert was also different. She didn't cry about the meal, so why cry about the dessert? What is this bizarre, unnecessary behavior from her? I'm mind blown over here lol. Ops response. I think it's because, all this time, we wouldn't have non-vegan desserts in our homes. In restaurants, she had no choice if there were any, but when any of us hosted, we made sure the dessert was vegan, even if the main meal wasn't completely vegan. I think she didn't expect that after a year. Update 2 months 2 weeks later. This is an update to my previous post. After what happened, I created a new WhatsApp group with all my friends except the vegan one to discuss what had happened and what to do going forward. We all agreed that we had enabled her behavior by being too accommodating and that she was rude. Someone suggested I have a one-on-one chat with her to see if there were any issues going on, as her outburst was unlike her. She can be self-centered but had never been that rude before. I agreed to the suggestion but told the group I would keep the chats as a backup, so she'd know we were all on the same page in case she accused me of bullying her and realized it wasn't just me. I texted her and asked her to meet me at my place. The reason for that was, first, to avoid a public meltdown, and second, if she crossed the line, I could ask her to leave my home. My husband was on board with this and said he would wait outside in the car so she wouldn't feel uncomfortable. She wears a headscarf, and when we get together, it's usually girls only so those of us who wear headscarves can take them off. She agreed to come. We met, and after greeting her, I asked her upfront if there was an issue. She was taken aback and asked why. I explained that what happened last time was unlike her and asked if she was going through something. She denied it at first, but then burst into tears. She said she had argued with her fiancé about her future mother-in-law. She's the only vegan in the family and wanted the wedding menu to be entirely vegan. In our culture, Middle Eastern, the groom pays for the wedding, and her mother-in-law said while some vegan dishes could be included, there would also be non-vegan options for other guests. Her mother-in-law said that wasn't up for discussion since they were paying for the wedding. Her fiancé, while supportive of her lifestyle, agreed with his mother. He told her she could eat what she wanted, but he's not vegan and won't follow a vegan diet at home or when dining out. I asked what had happened since then. She said the relationship was shaky and that she gave him an ultimatum: either he chose her and her views or his mother. He told her bluntly that while he loves her, he wants a partner who will accept both him and his family. He said if his mother ever disrespected her or anyone in his family, he would stand up for her, but in return, she had to show the same respect. I asked her if her mother-in-law had banned vegan food from the menu entirely. She said no, there would be both. I asked if, when she visited his family, they provided vegan food for her. She said yes. I told her she was being selfish and only thinking of herself. I said that if they hadn't accommodated her at all, I'd be telling her to leave the relationship. I reminded her that we had been respectful of her choices for over a year, but that wouldn't continue if she kept being entitled. I told her the world doesn't revolve around her. I showed her the group chat where we all agreed that if she continued to be disrespectful, she wouldn't be invited out with us anymore. I also said she should be grateful that her fiancé was being patient. If my husband had disrespected my mother like that, I would have ended the relationship. She raised her voice at me and suddenly slapped me. I told her to get out of my house before I called the police for assault. She said, "Who would believe you?" I then told her I had recorded our entire conversation, in case she lied later. She left, and I messaged the friend group, explained what had happened, and told them I was done with her. I said if they wanted to hang out with her, I was fine with it, just let me know, because I don't want to see her. They were all shocked, and I'm now grieving the loss of a friend I've known since I was 11 years old. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. You handled the situation maturely by addressing your friend privately and giving her a chance to explain her behavior. It turns out she's been pushing her veganism onto everyone, including her fiancé's family, who have actually been accommodating her. When you called out her selfishness and entitlement, she responded by slapping you. At this point, it's clear she's unwilling to compromise or take accountability. Grieve the loss of the friendship, but don't second-guess yourself. You did everything right, and cutting her off is the best choice for your peace. Let her sort out her issues without dragging you down. Commenter 2. Frankly, you should send that video to your ex-friend's fiancé. She's a bullet he needs to dodge. Second update 5 months later. Hi all. It's been a while since I last posted about my friend who is vegan. The last update ended with her slapping me. What I didn't mention in the previous post was that I was heavily pregnant at the time. Needless to say, my husband was furious and wanted to press charges, especially since I had recorded the whole incident. He said, "What if you or the baby had been harmed?" Also, we had our 4-year-old asleep in his bedroom when my ex-friend came over. Anyway, I convinced him to call her fiancé to discuss the situation. Honestly, I was shocked because that behavior wasn't like her. Her fiancé came over. I asked him to listen without interruption and showed him the video. He was shocked and kept apologizing. He said he would deal with it and asked us not to contact the police. 3 weeks later, my husband updated me. The fiancé had spoken with her about what happened. She started crying hysterically and threatening to hurt herself. He called 999, and they sent an ambulance. In A&E, they decided to keep her for assessment regarding her mental health and stability. The fiancé stayed by her side, along with her family. There's no definite diagnosis yet, but it's likely to be bipolar disorder. Unfortunately, it runs on her mother's side of the family, but being Middle Eastern, it was never acknowledged. Back in the Middle East, those with such conditions were often kept at home to protect the family's reputation. Sadly, the fiancé broke up with her. He said he doesn't have the capacity to cope, even if she stabilizes with medication. His family also gave him an ultimatum, not to expect their support if he chose to stay with her. While he has a good job, it doesn't cover the wedding costs, which his family were fully funding. I know many of you told me to walk away and that she wasn't a true friend. However, I'm glad she's getting a diagnosis, because that wasn't her usual self. In retrospect, she always had a bit of drama. Her mood could shift from sadness to happiness easily. Being close friends made me overlook it. I thought she was just like that. I'm still keeping my distance, but am not opposed to a relationship in the future. Right now, my focus is on my own family, and I hope that one day she meets someone who accepts her for who she is, including her mental problems. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Are we sure she isn't having a reaction to lack of nutrients? Being vegan in a healthy and safe way is extremely hard, and she may have damaged herself to the point her reactions are mimicking bipolar disorder. Not really likely, since her mom was suspected of having the same thing, but maybe it's something that needs to be looked at. Ops response. To be honest, all the information we have is via her now ex-fiancé, so the information is limited. I hope she gets better and gets on with her life. Op when told her friend will be horrified about what she's done once she recovers a sane state of mind. Thank you for this. Like mentioned so many times, her behavior was out of character for her. Yes, she can be dramatic, but we just assumed it was her personality. Being violent was never something she had done before. I cannot comment on her diagnosis or what she's going through, as I am not her psychiatrist or medical team. All I hope is that she gets better. It doesn't mean I will allow her back into my life in the future. After all, I have 2 children and a husband to think of, but if she truly gets better and stabilizes, I won't close the door forever. Obviously, it won't be like before. I don't want to be one of those people from Middle Eastern families who see mental illness as a taboo and something to be avoided.